Well, according to humanitarians and health workers on the ground, the airstrike hit the small town of Togoga around midday on Tuesday, killing dozens of civilians and wounding many more. There has not been any confirmed death toll so far because the area has been extremely difficult to access, including for health workers. In Mekelle, the main hospital is treating several injured people, including children, but many others are likely still trapped around Togoga because many ambulances were blocked at checkpoints by soldiers. According to a source in Mekelle, some health workers were able to cross the checkpoints without ambulances, but have not been able to communicate with their teams since. Some wounded people, including a baby, have reportedly died because health workers were not able to evacuate them quickly enough. A spokesperson for the Ethiopian military denied that soldiers were blocking ambulances. He said that airstrikes were a common military tactic, but he assured the government does not target civilians. It's unclear whether the attack is attributed to the Ethiopian or to the Eritrean military, but it comes as Tigrayan forces have been claiming that they've retaken several towns and captured thousands of Ethiopian military soldiers.
And Maria, it sounds then like a pretty serious escalation in the conflict there that's been rumbling for several months now.
Well, there's been several reports of civilians being killed in such a way since the conflict started in November, including at marketplaces, but it's always very difficult to know the exact number of casualties, especially in rural areas. But for sure, this incident is extremely serious. There's also been generally for the past months accounts of civilians being massacred, mainly by Eritrean soldiers across the region. If you go to some of the active hospitals that are still able to treat patients, you'll find many civilians, including children, that are injured with very serious wounds. So civilians were definitely not spared by this conflict, and so civilian casualties are not something new. It seemed like fighting had, however, slowed down in the past weeks, but for the past days there's been an increase in hostilities in the second largest city in Tigray, which is Adigrat. There's also been fighting on Tuesday. A local source there said that 28 civilians were being treated at the hospital and that 4 had been killed. The Prime Minister is facing mounting criticism for the situation in the Tigray region and also for the humanitarian crisis that is going on there, with organizations speaking of a possible famine. But he says that there's no hunger in Tigray, and he attributes the fault for the situation to the TPLF, the Tigray People's Liberation Front.